I agree. Absolutely. And then I come back to what we talked about at the beginning. These are agents that are happy because they have say in when they're working, where they're working, how they're working, what they're working on, versus the, typical employee that's just biding their time there till they eventually quit. And there is no ownership mentality. And I believe happy agents equals happy customers. I
Yeah.
think that the gig CX model lends itself to happier agents and happier customers. And I think you're able to get the same skill levels, experience levels. I don't, it's not a situation where a company is going, oh, I'm getting some, like you said, transient agent on that isn't as good as the agents that I hire. They're probably better than the agents that you hire, and they're certainly happier because they essentially are working for themselves. So you're getting the skill, the quality, and in fact, beyond that, happier agents, happier clients. You even have the ability to specifically hire for specific skills. I'm going to make up an example, but you tell me if this is reality or not. Let's say we've got a client that says we need 100 people that at least were licensed estheticians. They're skin care specialists because they're going to be handling Lancome customer care calls. You could potentially staff for that or any other type of skill that somebody might want or experience somebody might want. Now, obviously, you've got a big community of customer care agents that have different skills in different types of customer care work. But beyond that, you could potentially even go out and hire for other specific skills or experiences, um, and have more ability and flexibility to do something like that than a traditional call center or BPO. Am I correct?
Yeah, actually, I didn't know you were going to bring up licensed agents, but that's actually one of the areas where I think we're really, especially, and this is a very timely topic because we're headed into this season where licensed insurance agents are in really high demand. Um, and and by the way, they want flexibility and fair pay too. And so we're in a great position to go target for specific license certifications in hand. So license in hand people that we don't have to bring through that process, or finding the right people that are ready and maybe are already going through the process of becoming licensed. And that's one of those things where, again, our model being so flexible and our ability to be so targeted is a huge lever, especially when you get into really niche profiles. So we create detailed profiles for all of our agents, and we know a lot about them. They know a lot about the campaigns that they're jumping in on, and what we find is that there's a pretty solid, I guess, match that finds itself both in from our technology, but then organically too. I'll give you a great example. A few months ago, I got this random phone call. For whatever reason, I decided to answer it, even though it's not a number I recognized. One of one of our agents pulled my phone number out of our onboarding documents. I forgot my phone number was in there. I've since taken it out. But I had the most wonderful, like 30-40 minute conversation with this new agent coming through. I mean, you could just tell you've just got like this really amazing star. And so and she had some questions and we talked, and at the end of it I said, look, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself, how you found out about Shift Off? And in the back of my head I'm thinking, how do I replicate you?
Yeah.
And anyway, she told me that she's actually a registered nurse, and she had a disability occur, a permanent disability. She'll never be able to go bedside again, and you could tell that she was pretty sad about that. And it changes her life. And this had just occurred. And she said, just sort of serendipitously, she found one of our healthcare opportunities. We were recruiting for people with healthcare experience for this healthcare client. And she saw this as an opportunity to be close to the healthcare field, be close to her nursing roots, and still provide some level of patient care or interaction, but have the ability to work remotely and on her terms, because she's going through a major life change. She still has these health issues going on. Her doctor's visits are going to be frequent and sometimes unpredictable. It's gonna be really hard for her to have a regular full-time job. This
Yep.
is a star, wonderful person that you want working for you, but in a traditional model, it just simply can't work.
Yeah.
Except in this case, so we hear these stories really frequently, where we're finding people that maybe either they don't want to work in the traditional model, or the traditional model doesn't work for them.
Hmm.
And there's a tremendous pool of talent out there that we haven't
Oh
tapped.
yeah. Well, some of the models, some of the ones I've heard of, the stay-at-home mom,
Yep,
maybe even homeschooling the kids. Maybe she's got a bachelor's degree and a ton of experience and is super qualified, but it's hard for her to find work based on her situation. This model fits. Here's another one. You have the military wife, and she has to pack up and move from base to base fairly regularly as her husband, or I guess I could turn around, it could be the husband or the wife, whoever. As they move from base to base, they've got talent, experience, education, but it's hard for them to find a job because they move around a lot. They always have good internet at the bases. This is something that the spouse of a military person could literally plug in, work, again, put in their shifts, their availability, their time zones, and as they're traveling around the country or around the world, potentially they could fit this model where traditional models will fail them.
absolutely. And that when they move city to city or base to base, this, they don't have to stop working for shift off. Even if they decide, oh, I'm going to go get a full-time job that maybe is, in line with their passion. Like they want to go become a teacher or whatever that may
Yeah.
be. They can log in and do work and shift off in the evenings, on the weekends, summer. I mean, there's no real reason for them to leave. Um, and I think the way we set it up to where it is so agent centric, we create this environment where they feel like family and they want to continue coming back. And so we don't actually have, yes, we can attract and retain this amazing group of people, but we also don't have attrition either, because we're so good at finding these people that it matches with what they need. And they treat our clients, customers with so much care and respect. I mean, you're looking at a complete extension of your team, not so much this outsourcing relationship. This is where we integrate and we get really deeply involved with our clients. We want to be your team. We want our agents and your agents to feel like and sound like the same exact team to your customers, and our agents really want to be a part of what our clients are doing. So this is a really cool way to interact with a different workforce that we haven't been able to tap before.
Yeah.
As anyway, I could probably go on for hours about how this actually works out really well for agents more than anybody.
Oh, it does. Well, not only that, but you had shared with me once before that you were putting out a profile for a client, and you were getting 700 to 1,000 applicants a day. That's how many people love the idea of becoming a gig worker
I had to
and the
turn it
gig
off.
CX. You had to turn it off.
I was
That's amazing.
I turned it on and I was like, oh, I don't need this many.
Yeah.
And 24 hours later, I was like, now we just, and now fortunately we have a pretty slick onboarding process, and we're able to filter and match pretty quickly. So we're not leaving people hanging, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's
But is
incredible.
it safe to say when in your past experience in contact centers and in BPOs that wasn't a similar kind of response when you put out ads and you're trying to hire?
No, I don't want to tell you the turmoils we had getting people in. Not to mention, this is another interesting thing that we probably should talk about is as when you go to hire someone. I mean, we all know the funnel, right? So how many people do you have to make an offer to? And then what percentage of them actually start training? And then what percentage of them actually finish training? And then which percentage of them actually stay beyond the 2 week on the job or whatever, whatever your flow is like.
Yeah.
By the time you've started with 30 people, you're